Hey, gonna get settled in here. This is gonna be a bit of a different one today. Okay. Let's see how this works. Ta-da! Worked just fine. Okay, I guess I'll start recording as well. And we'll just get right into it. Hey everyone! It's been a long time since I've done an update like this. I was doing this more frequently, I guess, probably at the start of last year, and then that dropped off pretty substantially. But here I am again, giving a, I guess the word is vlog, which is such a gross word, but there it is. I think that it's the log part that's already pretty gross, and then when you stick a V on it, it becomes like 10 times worse. I've always hated that word. But yeah, so in the past month, a lot has gone on, and I've sort of talked about it a little bit. Other people have talked about it a little bit as well, like Keith and Wander have, and I've been waiting until I kind of had everything in place before I would put this specific video together, because I wanted to just have time to make sure that what I was going to talk about, all the pieces were in place before just like going into it. So yeah, I guess to be frank, I was going through a lot of health problems in the past month, and what that meant was that I was actually going through a lot of neurological problems. So it was a very awful, it was an awful time. Basically, the week leading up to PAX, when Wander came out here, so that was probably about a month ago at this point. The week leading up to PAX, and the month actually leading up to that week, I kind of just started to have a very steady degrading of my ability to think and function in a healthy manner. So what was happening is that I basically stopped being able to sleep, and my mind was just racing all the time. And I was like super anxious, and at work I was alternating between being like really focused on work and being like not able to focus at all. And then in my personal life, my moods were just swinging like up and down. Like some days I was really happy, and other days I was like really, really depressed. And without going into too much detail on what that was like, I basically... So Lady Bird's been trying to convince me to see a neurologist for like since January of last year, and I didn't really go along with it until that week, when I realized like this is getting really, really out of hand. And at the time, we didn't know what was going on. We couldn't tell if, I mean, it could have been anything from like I just need to sleep more, to like I have brain cancer. At the time we didn't know, but we kind of ruled things out. I went to a lot of doctors, and ultimately what has happened is that I have been diagnosed with ADHD, which is interesting, and like a general kind of mood disorder. Not quite like bipolar disorder, but like just inability to like regulate emotions effectively. And I think that it's kind of funny to me. It's actually really funny to me in some sense, because I got the diagnosis and I was like, that's it? It's ADHD? It's been causing like so many problems, and it was like such a minor thing. But I guess what was interesting when I really thought about it was like, even though like the label is one thing and the diagnosis is one thing, the symptoms were still really bad, and they were really serious and they were really debilitating. So that was kind of interesting, and I started experimenting with taking medication for it. So I started with a mood stabilizer, which worked extremely well right away. And I was like, wow, this is what it feels like to have, like, normal emotions and just experience them like the way a normal person would. And then I also... Originally, I wasn't going to go along with it, because I didn't know what the impact was going to be, but I decided to also start taking Ritalin, and that has been really cool. So I got on Ritalin, and effectively by I got on it like on Thursday of 2 weeks ago, and effectively by the end of that day, my entire life had changed. I just didn't really see how it was gonna, like, impact me beyond that. So I started taking Ritalin, and the very first thing I did was just go home and, like, just start cleaning stuff. And it was like, I don't know where that, like, sort of energy came from or where that compulsion, like, came from, but I was just like, I just want to, like, organize everything. So I started doing that, and then what was really fascinating was, I started having, like, very different ways in which I engage with other people. So, interestingly enough, Ritalin helps you with, like, the social functions of your brain. So what that allowed me to do is it made me, like, a better listener. It also made me a lot more confident and a lot more assertive. So I will explain a little bit of, like, what my mindset was like and how that kind of impacted YouTube as well as a lot of other things in my life. But beforehand, I would just kind of always assume that people didn't like me. And I would assume that every time I felt the need to kind of assert myself or put my needs ahead of something, it would result in them not liking me. And I became very, very sensitive to any sort of rejection whatsoever. This was more or less blown away completely by starting to take medication for it, which was really, really fascinating to me because I did not think that that would happen. But I guess ultimately I didn't know a lot about ADHD, and I didn't know how it would impact me, and I didn't know how it would be impacted by, like, getting on medication. So where this comes into play with regards to YouTube is really, really interesting, because until very recently, I was terrified of reading comments. I, like, could not open up my channel dashboard. I couldn't do it. I couldn't read comments. I couldn't look at my own videos. I couldn't edit my own videos. Editing became really, really hard for me because I heard the sound of my own voice and I heard my content that I was making, and all I was thinking every time I edited any of my videos was, they're gonna hate this. This isn't funny, this isn't entertaining, this isn't good, the sound quality sucks, the gameplay sucks, everything about it is bad. But I still wanted to do it. So that's why I did things like, I programmed my auto-uploader and stuff like that, my series manager. And the reason that I did that was because I was not able to edit videos. And that's the only way I can put it. Like, it was like a wall. It was almost, it was borderline like a physical thing. Like, imagine if you wanted to do something and you, like, weren't able to do it because you physically couldn't do it. It was like, there was just like that hard of a barrier. For me, it was just like a strong mental barrier of like, I cannot bring myself to open up Adobe Premiere to do my editing at all. So I invented the auto-uploader and the auto-editing software and stuff like that that I made so that I wouldn't have to do that. So that I could still post videos without ever having to confront the things that I did not like about the process, which was namely reading comments, editing the videos, basically just facing other people. I couldn't do it. So I automated the entire process away, which is kind of really great that I have that tool. But it didn't really fix anything for me. It just kind of made that somewhat easier, insofar as I didn't have to confront the issues that I had with it at all. But anyway, what you may notice is that in the past week, I have really turned this shit around. Like, if you go onto my channel right now, you'll see that I have a new banner up. You'll see that I have new thumbnails. I've been responding and reading every single comment. And you all are very nice people. That's the weird thing, is that, and Ladybird was telling me this too, is that I assumed that people, I knew that people didn't dislike me, but the thought of reading a negative comment was so bad that I just could not bring myself to read any comments ever, because I felt like the risk of reading one bad comment would just break me, in a sense. But I don't ever get negative comments at all, so I just go on them and I read them all, and I'm like, wow, people are really, really nice, and they leave a lot of nice things, and they're very engaging, and frankly, some of them are downright thoughtful, which is really cool. That's really, really nice. And what's also cool is that I have the YouTube app on my phone, which means I get notified whenever anybody leaves a comment. So basically, I'm just going around my workday, and every like hour or so on my phone, it just like buzzes or pings if I have the volume on, and I look at it, and I just have a message from a random person being like, I like what you're doing, which is awesome. Like, that's really funny in a sense, to like just be kind of going about my day and just get like nice things said to me, even without any context. I read them and I'm like, oh man, that's really, really great. And that's so different from me compared to what it was like before, where I just could not bring myself to do those sorts of things, to read comments and stuff like that. And I couldn't bring myself to really update my channel art, but then, like, you know, speaking towards the social stuff, you know, that's been its own just amazing, amazing developments. My ability to focus and work and be productive is completely transformed as well. I mean, I was able to sit down and work on a banner for like 4 hours straight, and I love my new logo. I think that the art that I've been putting forward on the channel now is just fantastic. I mean, if you missed it, like, I'll just put it up again real quick. This is what I've been working on. You know, this is still like V1 stuff. I'm going to keep on iterating on it, but like, this is, in my mind, tremendously better than the old channel art, and I could not be more happy with it. And I'm going to keep on improving this in time. This was just me kind of getting it to a point where I felt like, hey, this is cool, let's go ahead and put it out there, so I can start like appreciating it, and other people will look at it and say like, hey, that's really cool. You know, people like the new thumbnails. I like the new thumbnails too. I made them, but I still like them a lot. They look great. We have like an emoticon on Twitch now that I still need to keep working on. It's very pixelated, and I don't know why. But I was able to like do stuff that I've always wanted to do without getting distracted, without getting anxious or paranoid about it and be like, oh god, people are not going to like this, I shouldn't do it at all. I was just able to function. And I guess I can really sum it up as like, kind of before I started taking care of my like mental health, I was really great at everything except for living, if that makes sense. And now, like, that's all taken care of, so I get to really appreciate now all of the things that I'm trying to achieve in my life. So I kind of just wanted to speak to this a little for two reasons. Number one is I wanted to explain a little bit why I've been mentioning, like, I've been sick and stuff like that. That was it. And number two is I wanted to also share that, like, I'm like a success story, I guess. Like, and in part, I guess, like, the lesson is from my anecdote is that if you're suspecting that you have, like, mental health, like, neurological problems, you can get better. I mean, you can have a better life. You can't, I mean, if it's a neurological thing, you can't get better from that, per se, but you can dramatically improve your life, at least in my case, with the right help. And I'm not really going to speak to that too much more, if just because I think that it would be boring. Maybe I can follow this up. And of course, if people have any questions, you know, we'll address those towards the end and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was interesting. And that's really kind of the primary focus of what I wanted to talk about today. But I guess now that I think about it, I mean, the other major event that happened in the past month is the, and this is very public. This is very public. I'm not sharing anything that we don't already know about. Was kind of the falling out between Wander and Keith that happened. I'm not going to speak to that in any sort of detail, because I know way more than what was said in public, and out of respect for the two parties involved, I'm, you know, not going to share that information. That would be a big betrayal of trust. I will say that Keith put out a vlog on it. I don't think Wander has put out a response, but that's all that we're really gonna be. I mean, beyond literally just straight up saying, like, hey, there's a falling out, that's all I can say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I want to say. But I also want to speak a little bit towards what that means for me. So this kind of happened at a really weird time because it happened the same week that I was getting all my own mental health stuff sorted out. And I started taking medication and I felt like more comfortable as myself as a person. And I started making moves to see what I wanted out of my online life going forward. And what I figured out is that if other people have problems with each other, it should not cause my own relationships with those people to fall out as well. Which has not traditionally been the case. So basically the day after this happened, I don't know if anyone remembers, but I reached out to remembers these people specifically. I reached out to Bad Stainless, Purple Phantom, Hephaestus, and Anti-Housewife, and I said, hi. I just said, it's been a while. I'm sorry we haven't talked. There was no reason for us to not have talked. Let's be friends again, basically. And that was great, because we just immediately became friends again. And that's all there was to it. As I just said, like, I'm sorry that our falling out, as it were, happened, and there was no reason for it to have happened, and let's just, like, move forward with that. Now, they're all in different phases in their life at this point, so I don't know if I'm going to record with them, but the point is, like, I started taking more control of my online life, so it's not just so coupled to like Catterday effectively, or at least the remnants of it, as it were. So I started, I reached out to Keith and I said, like, you know, we're gonna keep going forward with our things, or with new things, basically, because, you know, Monster Hunter World is effectively dead. D&D is extremely uncertain. And those are kind of the main things that are just now, like, what's gonna happen to them? I don't know for sure, but I can say realistically, they're never going to return. And I'm sorry. I can't really do anything about that. But, I know that for a lot of people that's very disappointing. And I'm with you. It is disappointing. It's very disappointing. But you have to just accept it and move on. So, I haven't streamed with Wander in like 2 weeks, and I know that people are kind of concerned about that as well. Wander and I are just fine. We're still friends. He's very busy with his solo stuff, and he's feeling very burnt out on multiplayer in general. And I've told him, you know, basically, whenever you want to, just let me know when you want to start scheduling some time together, and we'll, like, start doing Wanderbird streams. It hasn't really materialized yet. That's fine. He's, you know, he's got a lot on his plate, and he's working through it. And so I just want to say that, because I've streamed with Keith multiple times since then, but I want to impart that, like, there's not a hidden reason for that. Like, it's just, after everything kind of went down, I reached out to everyone and I just said, like, I'm going to make a schedule, and I'm going to schedule each person for different days, and just tell me what days you're free, and I will, like, make those days happen. And, Wander just hasn't told me what days he's available on. That's, like, all it boils down to. So once we kind of figure out, like, what times work for us, we'll make it happen again. And that's great, you know? Whenever it happens, it'll happen, and, you know, that will just resume and be as normal as it is. But yeah, so I guess I don't want to talk too much about the details of my schedule. Insofar as I want it to just be my thing, and people can just tell me what times they want, and I'll put it into the schedule, and I'll make it work. But I feel like if I kind of go too public with the way I want to schedule people's times and stuff, it might rankle some people. And I don't actually know if that's a word, but it might like just cause unnecessary like problems. So I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to keep things private. As private as I can, because if you just watch, you'll eventually be able to piece together when I'm doing certain things with whom. So it can't actually be that private. But, you know, I'm still going to, like, treat it that way. But yeah, so that's kind of the future of multiplayer stuff. And as far as solo things are concerned, I mean, sky's the limit at this point. Like, I'm really game to start committing myself to making this work a lot more. And I know that there have been many times I've said, like, this is the future of the channel, and it's gonna move on, and it's gonna be grand and glorious. But this time, it's very different. Because all those previous times, going back to the mental health stuff, were during phases where I was basically just, like, up. And as soon as the reality of the situation kind of came back to me, I would like go down and I'd be just like petrified of like dealing with it all again. But this time with medication, like it's just completely different. It's completely different in a good way, in a fantastic way, and we're just gonna see where this goes, you know. But I have very high hopes. So I updated all the channel art, and I'm ready to really move forward with that. And that's kind of, this is like my vlog / announcement video about that, insofar as it relates to like everything else that I'm improving in my life. But mostly, I guess this is for the sake of the channel. You can consider this video as basically just like a return to form and a like, yeah, let's just start kicking ass. I don't really have anything else that I wanted to say. This was entirely off the cuff, so this wasn't prepared or anything like that. I'm gonna quickly just put on my glasses and see if there's any comments that are interesting. Why did you assume that Bird had a beard? I am clean shaven, my friend. I had a concert earlier today. Those videos might go up. Maybe. I need to decide if I'm gonna put those videos on like a Birdcatcher music channel, or if I'm gonna put it on like the games channel and just make it like the one-stop place. I think I might make a separate channel. I'm not entirely sure yet. There's also probably not any strong reason to do that. I knew the symptoms sounded familiar. They do sound like they did. Yeah, well, there you go. Let's see. I'm gonna quickly look over at, so that's the YouTube chat. Let's look at the Twitch chat. Glad to hear you're doing better. You do sound like a beard kind of guy, to be fair. I think that what you're saying when you say I sound like a beard kind of guy is you're saying that I have a deep voice. That's how I'm gonna interpret it anyway. Usually I have some stubble. Depends on the day. Depends on how recently I shaved, obviously. But I had the concert, so I shaved. I'm not normally this clean shaven. It's just the way it was today. Yeah, so I did a concert earlier today, and then I have another concert coming up in like a month, which is going to be just piano playing. Both of those will eventually find their way onto the internet somehow, because I like showing off. So why would I pass that opportunity up? Yeah, that'll go up there. You can't do clean shave anymore, it gives you a baby face. It used to give me a baby face, then it just started looking old, and I can't have a baby face anymore. My baby face is like 28. That's as close as I can get to baby at this point, is 28. I'm okay with it. Alright, that pretty much sums it up. I'll read the comments in this video. I don't know if there's gonna be much beyond just like support stuff, but that's all I wanted to say. So thanks for watching. Okay, let's switch off that, and let's fire up 7 billion humans, and let's turn off this lamp that's in my face. Ugh. For all of you who stuck around, you are true fans to be able to sit through that. I wonder if Keith is still doing his thing. Keith gave me carte blanche to interrupt his World of Warcraft streams, so that'll be funny. What I'm basically getting at is, as soon as I'm done, what the hell? Steam is now available in Spanish. It told me that in Spanish. I'm very confused. Yeah, Keith gave me carte blanche to go ahead and interrupt his World of Warcraft stream, so I think at some point I am going to crash his stream tonight. Assuming that he's still going after I finish up 7 billion humans. I hope he is. I hope he is. I definitely want to just barge in on Keith's stream and do, like, the most raidest raid that anyone could ever possibly raid. But until then, let's just do some more games. That's very loud. That was impressively loud. Sorry about that. Oh, that's a display capture. I need to just remove that from there. Helping your friend is so addicted they still on WoW into the late hours of the night. I mean, Keith is my friend insofar as, you know, we're bitter nemesises, and if I could destroy him, I would. There we are. That's now streaming. That there. Okay, and lastly, I'm gonna turn the game down because I can't think while fucking honky tonk pianos are going off in my ears. There's not much left of this game, right? There's still a hell. Well, actually, I'm almost at the halfway point. Cool. Let's start recording them. Welcome back. Let's do multiplication. I am dreading this. Oh god, am I dreading this. I have to fill up the entire multiplication table. Oh no. Oh no! All my email and data on my personal computer got wiped. How does this keep happening to me? Well, now we need to recreate this multiplication table so I can look stuff up. Like if a sandwich contains 2 calories, and if I eat 400 sandwiches, how can I still want to eat more sandwiches? That's multiplication. See that grid over there? Each cube should be the product of the row and column headers. So, I'll leave it to you to rewrite those cubes. Phew! I haven't done this much math since the 3rd grade. Alright, so we have 2 memory slots. We're gonna need both of them, one to handle the row and the column memory. So, what I need everyone to do is, I guess, they need to go to the top and get this one, whatever their column is. So they need to grab their column identifier, and then they need to kind of... God, how am I going to do this? I wonder if it does make more sense to have everyone go up and grab their column, and then everyone just go down individually by column to do their multiplication. So, yeah, and then everyone's kind of offset. So what I can do is I can do a step down with everybody just to get everyone on the same row, which will make my life a little bit easier. But basically what we're going to do is, we need to go up and grab this, and then do effectively just repeated addition. And I think I know how to do this. So I'm not going to bother too much with synchronizing people. It's not going to be the smoothest that it could be. But basically what it's going to be is people will go up, grab their number as their first action. Once they've done that, they need to go down until they're stepping on a cube. And then they can enter a new routine, which is if their dividend is... not their dividend. If their multiplier itself is 0, then they need to just step to the left until they hit a wall, grab their multiplier, and then... okay, so they need to do that first. So as another precondition, I need to go up and grab this first number for everyone. Or I can just set mem to 1 to begin with. So if mem1 is just 1, I'm going to leave a comment here. So this is, I forget what the terms are. It's like base and multiplier or something like that. So we're going to set this to be the mult, I guess. And everyone needs to just repeatedly step up until in front of them is a wall. And once that's done, they will be standing on this block. They can set mem2, which I will set to be base, if I remember the terms, which I don't at all, because I haven't done arithmetic since I was in elementary school. I mean, I do arithmetic every single day, you know what I'm trying to say. I will set mem2 is equal to my item, which I guess needs to be, instead of that, we'll just set it to what's on the ground. It's been a couple days since I've run this, but let's go ahead and just get our sense for what that looks like in the world. So everyone just keeps going forward. They get what they needed there. And I wanted to actually just follow a single person. Oh wait, they all have stupid sayings that they say. Ha 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 ha. Okay. So everyone goes up, they grab their item, and then they need to step down twice. And now we're in the main loop. So, what the main loop is going to be, they need to add their number to the cube they're standing on, the number of times mem2, the number of times mem1, or while mem1 is greater than 0, they need to add their number to the cube they're standing on and subtract mem1. Couldn't be simpler. That's actually very straightforward. The tricky part will just be coordinating like they're stepping down and stuff like that. But that should be just fine. So, if... we'll set up the main loop here. So, if mem1 is greater than 0, then we will pick up... what's right again? Oh, calc sets it to another mem. Okay, so we set that to mem3. So what we'll do is we'll... interesting. Okay. We'll pick up what we're standing on. And I would like to move this direction. There we are. If mem1 is greater than 0, then we pick up what we're standing on. We calculate my item plus mem2, which is base. I wish I could give the mems a friendly name as well, but this is fine. So mem3 is equal to whatever's on the cube plus our base. And then we will subtract 1, or we will subtract mem1, which is our multiplier. We'll subtract 1 from that. So while mem1's greater than 0, we do subtraction. Let's then write mem3, which is the result of our calculations, and drop. So what we'll see when we do this is everyone will be on this row and they will multiply everything by 1. Let's see that in action. Let's just kind of crank this up a little bit. Everyone goes and they pick up their number and they set it down. And we should have... that was interesting. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. Okay, but everyone calculated what they needed to do. So if we just speed it up and slow it down dramatically, then if you look here, we do have 5, 7, 8. So everyone does their first multiplication just fine. Oh, it's offset. Right. Some of those people already picked up their numbers and already did this. Or some people started on the second row, so they're a little bit further ahead than the others. That's why it looks really, really funky. But this is perfect. So the first row is set just fine. Now, once mem1 is equal to 0, our multiplier is gone. So what we need to do is we need to step to our left if to our left is a wall, then it must be the case that we're standing on this part. So what we will do is we will then set mem1, which is our multiplier. No. We need to do this differently. We need to step until we're on a wall. Then we step down. So let's go ahead and put this loop back in so we just keep stepping to the left. We will then step down 1. And then we will set our multiplier is equal to what we're standing on. And then okay, so everyone stepped here. This gets interesting because there's two things that we can do. We can use nearest, or we can use, where's walk to? Oh, I have step and I can set it to a memory. Okay, so the easiest thing to do will be, actually, this is fine as is. It's a little bit shitty to have to like have everyone kind of manually walk over to this wall, but it's fine. That'll work well enough. If I exploited nearest a little, or not nearest, if I exploited set a little bit more and then I stepped to places in memory, then it would be really good. But I'm not doing that. So basically, instead of stepping to the left and then stepping down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everyone take a step down. I'm going to set mem4 to their location. Then I'm going to have everyone step to the left a whole bunch and then get their new multiplier. So step left if to my left is not a wall. We just keep stepping left over and over again. Once we're there, we set mem1 to what I'm standing on, and then we step back to mem4. So that'll take us back to the whatever tile we were on. And then we're going to jump back to main. And this should work. Let's find out. So everyone goes up. Let's keep it nice and slow for a little bit just to keep track of what they're doing. So everyone's setting their numbers now. We should see these people put it down, go forward, and then start immediately walking to the left. It's going to take a little bit of time because I kind of have the very awkward, klutzy way of doing this. So they're going to... Oh. What in the hell are they doing? Oh, I see how this is working. Yeah, so the pathfinding is really, really funky. If I used the nearest instead of what I'm doing right now, then this would work out a lot better. So, something's not right because this person is just setting 1 for everything. I think that I might have messed up this logic somehow. So let's just go ahead and watch Susan real quick. Susan's mem1 is 2. So she's going forward. She sets it to 4. She adds 0. 4 minus 1. And then puts down 1. Oh. The reason this loop doesn't work is I forgot to loop. I forgot that I have to jump. Okay. That would explain a lot. So that's why nobody was actually, like, doing all their multiplication. Now, I don't need to actually do the right and the drop every single time. So I'm going to take that out. So basically, we pick up the cube that we're standing on. We then do all these calculations. We then write mem3, and we do our drop. That will save us a lot of time. So let's start seeing people go up. Alright. This is already kind of working out fine. They are... Okay, this didn't work. Let's look at Susan. Let's look at Susan slowly. So she has 4. And Mem 3 is 1. And it's the pickup loop because I needed to put that there. So she was trying to pick stuff up and it was breaking as a result. Mem 3 is my item. Should not be my item. We're going to set that to be Mem 2 plus Mem 2. Oh. It should be Mem 3 plus Mem 2. And we need to zero that out. So we pick up our item. We set Mem 3 to 0 so we can reuse it every single time. And then we add Mem 2 to it over and over again. Let's see that in action. Again, everyone should be able to do this first loop without any trouble. So they've put down their numbers. Everyone's gone down. They're remembering where they need to go. She goes over, gets 2. And let's play this out. She should step over to 1. She writes down, or she calculates that Mem 3 is 1 so far. She subtracts 2 to get back to 1. Mem 3 is now equal to 2 in her mind. The Mem 1 is equal to 0. She has put down a 2. And if I play this out all the way, it's going to be extremely slow, but the multiplication table is completed. There we go. Yep, multiplication is repeated addition, and division is repeated subtraction. There you go. That's how arithmetic works. This is going to be very, very slow. Things that I could do to speed this up is I could, again, use the nearest on the left side, or not nearest, but use Mem on the left side and remember these positions, and then be able to use the pathfinding AI to walk there instead of doing it the way that I was doing, where I was manually having everyone walk over to the left. Now, I apparently did this very stupidly. I think that a big part of it was the inefficiency of people walking around, but also I'm very surprised that there's an optional size of only 11 commands. However, I feel like my logic was really easy to follow, and that's the most important thing, right? So I will consider this a success in that regard. I'm sure that there are plenty of ways to optimize this away. But I completed one of the, yet another challenge level without a whole lot of hassle, so once again, proud of myself. Alright. Important email organization. Welcome to my email inbox. Yes, each of those cubes on the floor represents one of my important emails. Our other boss said she would help me organize them. She very nicely made 10 folders for me down there at the bottom, and she labeled them 0 through 9, and she said we need to sort my email into those 10 folders. For example, emails with the number 2 through 29 go into the 2 folder, emails with the number 7 through 79 go into the 7 folder, emails with a 0 through 9 go in the 0 folder. Got it? I don't really understand email, but I'm lucky to have such a good friend. Okay, thanks for your help, guys. Okay, so we're going to use nearest cube. Do not pick up the labels 0 through 9 directly above each shredder. They will explode. So we'll do nearest data cube. And I guess something that I'll have to remember is that we only pick up a data cube if it's not above a shredder. So, how do we figure out what our tens digit place is? So we have division. If we divide, like, 29 by 10, I think that it's gonna give us the floor, right? There's only one way to find out. So mem1 is equal to nearest data cube. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set mem2 is equal to what I'm standing on divided by 10. So I think this will... if this works the way that I think it will tell us the tens place number in Mem2. Unless it rounds up. But let's just find out. We'll put this on... So this person went and they picked up... I forgot to tell them to step to Mem2. So they need to step to... Well, also, instead of what they're standing on, I can just have them divide Mem1 by 10, which will also give me the number. So 51, they have divided it by 10, and they got 5. I would really like for the game to not... Okay, so this person is 99. They've divided by 10, they get 9. Okay, so this won't round up. Which is great. So that does give us the tens place number. Now, what's interesting to me then is I need to figure out how to go to each shredder. So what I can do is once they've picked up a data cube, they can just walk down and then walk. What I can do, if I could set it to this place, what I would do is I'd have everyone walk to this cube and then just walk this way until they found the tile that matches their tens place. But I don't have that, unfortunately. So the lazy solution is to walk down until they're standing on a shredder and then walk walk down until they're standing above a shredder, and then walk left and right at random until they get to the one that they're standing on. It's not efficient, it's not smart, it's lazy, and I'm gonna do it. So we have set Mem1 to be the nearest data cube, we've set Mem2 to be the position, the tens place there. However, we want to make sure that we're only picking up data cubes that are not above shredders. So what we'll need to do is after something is shredded, we'll also need to just walk up like 2 at a minimum. That means that we'll never, we'll only pick up a data cube if, so our nearest, so we have to do 2 things. If we walk up twice, then our nearest will always be one of those cubes. The only worrisome case is when they're, trying to think then. I could also do something really funny here, so I'm going to do that. Mem4 is going to be their starting position, and they're just going to return to that every time when they do nearest. That way they will for sure not pick any, like, I'm not worried about them picking these cubes up. I'm worried about them picking it as their nearest and then being stuck there. So if I have people move just really far away from the shredders, then they'll never, you know, they'll never try to pick up any of these cubes. So anyway, we set nearest data cube, we then calculate the tens place, and then we step to that. We step to the nearest data cube that they found, and if their nearest data cube is above a shredder, then end? Maybe? I think that might be safe. I'm trying to cover the case of where somebody gets to the end of the program and they are attempting to pick up a cube because there's like one left and somebody else has already got to it. I don't know. But anyway, for right now, I'll just do it that way, which is a little bit silly, but it'll work. So we walk down until we're above a shredder. And what we'll do is we find the nearest data cube, we figure that out, we step to that data cube that we want, If it's above a shredder, then we don't do anything. Otherwise, we pick it up, and we will walk to, now, Mem1, we could set it to the nearest shredder. So we'll walk to the nearest shredder, and I don't know what'll happen if they get stuck trying to walk there or not, but I don't think it'll work that way. I think they'll step to above the nearest shredder. I assume the game is programmed intelligently enough to do that. So they'll walk to the nearest shredder, and once they're there, we just enter a loop where if Mem2 is equal to the ground, then we give to below us. Otherwise, we step in a random direction left and right. And if that's the case, then we just jump back and we keep trying that loop over and over again. So then, once we've done all that, we will then step back to our home base, which was 4, and we repeat the entire program from picking up the nearest data cube. This will most likely work. It's very silly, but it will work, I'm sure. So the person to really watch out for is 9 here, because he needs to step towards 0. Everyone's stepped to nothing, which is bad. So instead of this set to 4, I forgot that that won't work, because I've effectively set it to null. What I will do is instead, we just have everyone step up until they're at a wall. Very inefficient, but it's fine. So if above me is not a wall, then we just keep stepping up. Then we loop through everything again. Alright, so everyone should know which shredder they're going to. They'll need to walk around a bunch. They have stepped to nothing, which is weird. I don't know why they did that. What were they attempting to do? It looks like there's some condition that I haven't really thought through yet. So let's explore this really slowly. So this person needs to get to 9. And that might take them a little while. This person might get to 2 soon. Okay, they found 4. I don't know what they're attempting to step to. Oh, I still have a Mem4 step. I can just remove that. Now this will work just fine. I mean, insofar as I have this incredibly stupid walking around logic. For some reason, one of the workers also killed themselves, which I'm not sure why they did that. I think that maybe there's a condition where if a worker is attempting to pick up a cube that another worker got to, they will kill themselves because they won't have a cube. And now this is coming to bite me very hard. My walking back and forth, left and right thing, will not work anymore. I mean, I guess this puzzle will eventually complete, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to try, and that sucks. So what we can do is, if pickup fails, so if I am on top of a data cube, then we pick up. Otherwise, we need to jump back and pick another data cube. So we'll have that so people won't kill themselves anymore. If we watch this, nobody should throw themselves into shredders. However, I have a case here where this is really, really funny looking, but effectively nobody can get to their folders anymore. So what I need to do is instead of taking a step in a random direction, I need to do a full-blown comparison, so we'll just say this as return. So I need to have a loop here where we step to the nearest shredder, and we need to do find shredder, which I'm just going to draw as a box. Okay, so we find our shredder. How do we do that? If mem2 is equal to this, is equal to what we're standing to, then we give to, and that's it. If what we'll do is we'll give to, and then we will jump out of it. And we'll jump to return, basically. If mem2 is greater than the cube that we're stepping on, we will then step to the right. Otherwise, and then we'll jump back to the top of this loop. If mem2 is... The other thing I could do that would actually be really slick... Oh, this could be really interesting. I'm not going to do it. This is kind of like a brute force way. But what you could do is you could calculate the difference between you and the cube that you're standing on, and figure out how many steps to take based off of that. But that might give you negative numbers, and I don't know if the game has those. But at any rate, if mem2 is greater than what we're stepping on, then we'll step to the right, because that must be the case that we're trying to find the folder with a greater number than what we're stepping on. Otherwise, it must be the case that we're less than, and we need to step to the left. So now, people will intelligently find their folder, and I screwed up. So, let's put this on a slower speed, and figure out why I screwed up. So... they discarded 58. I don't know what 6 is doing. Oh. I forgot to put a jump here. So, I can also get rid of this. No, I need this jump. So I can put this into the else block and then have this jump that just takes us to that loop. I could also even put everything into just the else block of here, and then I don't have this jump anymore. So I'll do that. So we only loop if we're in this case. We don't need that anymore. And everything should work out now. Okay, so now everyone should find their folders. They keep stepping up to the ceiling unnecessarily. And they are dutifully finding all of their folders and shredding them in the exact spot. So this worked out just fine. It's not the most efficient, but it worked out just fine. I wonder if... I'm really curious to see what happens in this end case here. So, this person attempts to pick up 34. We're gonna have a bunch of people attempt to pick up 31, and I'm curious to see what they do. They just they attempt to pick up these cubes, and then they end. Is this person able to trade places with them? They are. Therefore, this puzzle is a success. Not too far off on a lot of this stuff. It was really hot on some of the random trials, but they're random, so what do you expect? Overall, happy with this. Walk south, pick up folder. Walk south, feed head into shredder. Yeah, people are commenting on the fact that my program was killing my employees. They're expendable, it's fine, they're just people. And anyway, that ought to wrap up this one, so thanks for watching. Alright, how much time do I have left for the night? I have time for one more level, so I'm gonna go for it. Welcome back! Unique fashion party. What in the hell is this? It's party time! Everyone please pick up your fashionable data cube. You'll each find one directly below you. And come over here to the fancy party room. Feel free to hang out. Talk about your pets or your favorite colors or your satisfaction with this job or whatever. Oh, what's that? Someone showed up with the same fashionable data cube as you? Yes, well there can only be one. So anyone with a sloppy redundant value must jump with their cube into one of the convenient holes in the floor. Yes, we can't all have friends. Don't worry. I haven't had a friend since the 90s, and look at me now. Each worker must pick up their cube and go to the party room, but only one of each cube value may remain, along with the lucky workers holding those cubes. Anyone holding a redundant value must dive with their cube into an exit hole. Cube values in the range 0 through 6 inclusive. I don't know how this tip helps me. I guess, I don't know how to... Yeah, I don't know what this means. However... Okay, never mind. I was trying to see, like, there are 6 rows and 7 columns, so I wondered if there was something about that. Well, the first thing I'm gonna have everyone do is pick up their cube. That'll be straightforward enough, right? Ha 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 ha. And what I can do is have everyone... how to ensure that everyone's compared to everyone else? I guess would be to have everyone compare this way. And then everyone compare... So... I have to compare every cube against every other cube. I have to find every single pair of cubes and do it that way. So, to compare every single cube against every single other cube, I need to go down to the right. What I can do is have everyone... What I can do is have... Order them lowest to highest. Sorting them would work, but sorting them will require me to make all the same comparisons that I would. I can line up 0 through 6 on the bottom line. Okay, well anyway, people are giving me solutions now. Let's here's what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna have oh, hold on. I see how this tip works. Cube values in the range 0 through 6 inclusive. So what I can do is I can have... Okay, I shouldn't have read chat. This was inspired by what I heard, but there you go. So what I can do is have everyone line up along this wall, and if there is a match, you just keep comparing to... Well... How do I make sure that I have 0 and 6 in these positions? I guess I would do a check, I know. I know how to do it. I know how to do it now. So, everyone shuffles into this point, and then they step up with what the value of their cube is, and then they step to the right. If they're the wall, then they don't throw themselves off of a pit. Then they just end, is what they do. Yeah, so let's do it let's get to that point first. So, what we want everyone to do is pick up their cube, and then I want them to walk here, but I don't have a clue how in the hell to get them to actually do that. Oh, I know how to do it. I just have everyone step down until below them is a wall. So that puts everyone on this point. Then we have everyone step right until below them is a hole. And then what they want to do is they want to step up the number of times that that the value of their cube is. So what they'll do is they'll set mem1 is equal to the value of their cube, and if mem1 is greater than 0, we will just keep stepping up. And I want to do it this way. So the step is only... Because we could have a case where it's 0. And we don't want to do any step-ups if that's the case. So what we'll do is we will step up only in the case that mem1 is greater than 0. Once mem1 is equal to 0, we will then start walking to the right. So we will step to the right. If to my right is not is equal to a wall, then we end. Else, if to my right is a worker, meaning somebody else got to this wall first, we then throw ourselves off of the pit. So if to my right is a worker, we step up until we die. Otherwise, we just keep looping. And we just keep stepping right. This should do it. So everyone's going to kind of shuffle in. Let's watch 5. 5 is going to step up to 6, and everyone is throwing themselves off of cliffs. So I must have forgotten a important step here. I forgot to subtract 1 from mem1 here. So everyone was just stepping up over and over again until they died. So what we need to do is we need to set mem1 is equal to mem1. We need to not set. We need to calculate mem1 as mem1 minus 1. So that this loop actually ends and people don't just keep, you know, killing themselves. Okay, step 1. They can only kill themselves if they have, if they're sharing some fashion choice with somebody else. That's the only condition in which it's okay. Considering I just did a vlog on mental health, I feel like that's probably the least appropriate joke I could possibly be making right now. But here you go. So 4 is here, which is bad because somebody's going to have 6, which means they're going to die. So I forgot that you can start with 0. What I need to do is I need to... This is why we have 7 columns. Shit. So, what we can do is have everyone step up until they're... We can keep this logic, but what we should do is step right until to the right of us is a wall, meaning we got to this point. Oh, no. We should still wait till we're here on this square. So if below us is not equal to a hole, we keep jumping. So once we're here, we need to figure out how many tiles to step to the right. So instead of stepping up, we'll step to the right, and then we'll do our calculations that way. We will step up until if above us is equal to a hole, then we end, meaning we're the first person that we got to here. If above us is a worker, then instead of stepping up, we step down, and we'll just do that in a loop over and over again. Now this ought to work. This will be interesting. It's a little different than what I was thinking, but it's still most of the right idea. So it takes a while for everyone to shuffle in, unfortunately, but that's okay. So we have everyone... 5 should stop right here. 3 should have stopped a while ago. So I have screwed up my logic somehow, again, here. I don't understand why this didn't work. Remember, if mem1 is greater than 0. So we should have people... This is not supposed to be step right, this should be step up. So I missed one little thing. Now this ought to work. Because I had everyone continue to step right instead of stepping up, so they just continue to shuffle off here, trying to throw themselves off of pits. So, let's see. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going exactly where they need to go. These people have ended their program. 3 and 5 are filtering in as we speak. 6 is going to go up there. 4 and 5 are the ones to watch. Let's see what they do. So 5 has found a worker. They're just going to step down and throw themselves off of pits. Alright. Everyone will eventually lemmings themselves off of these pits. And we have solved the puzzle. Yay! Alright. I dropped the cap to my Sprite. I hope I don't accidentally spill it everywhere, because that's how you get sugar ants. Well, we have effectively avoided fashion faux pas, and we have a unique fashion party. And we are now done with the blue levels. Off to phase 3 orange stuff. This guy has noise-canceling headphones, much like I do at the office. They are very, very nice. I would highly recommend, if you work with any other human beings ever, to put on noise-canceling headphones so you don't have to hear them. Morning Petroleum. I also am going to turn this up a little bit. So that we can all hear it.
It's time. It's time to go.
Em cùng, em cùng.
What the hell was that? That's like, I mean, I'm quoting Krusty the Clown there after he sees Worker and Parasite. Just, what the hell was that? Alright, compulsory office romance. I've been in one of those. Okay. Somebody who knows a little bit of coding, I only got halfway through the yellow levels before he gave up. This game got really difficult. Well, that's, promising. I do know a lot of coding, so hopefully I'll be able to, figure my way out of these levels. But let's see how they go. Hello, you two. Worker number 1, meet worker number 2. Worker number 2, meet worker number 1. Due to what we can only assume is extreme job satisfaction, workers have not been mating. So, please initiate the human mating process. 2 men. Alright. Yes, I don't know how it works either. Just read the instructions over there. They're tell and listen? Okay, worker on the left says hi to the worker on the right. Worker on the right, once you've been greeted, please say hi to the worker on the left. Repeat saying hi to each other forever. Never interrupted. So, tell left hi. Listen for hi. Oh no. Oh no. It's signals. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, this is gonna get really hard. This is where it gets tricky, because we're gonna have all of our individual, like, worker threads. They're gonna be listening to each other and doing stuff like that. I am not looking forward to having them have to synchronize with each other. That's hard. So anyway, we tell listen, and then we tell to the left hi, and we listen for hi. So we'll pause their program and they wait till they hear someone tell the word they're listening for. So this person tells to the right hi, and they listen for hi. That's not right. This is kind of the laziest way I can do it. Is just have both of them just tell randomly and listen for hi, and then once they hear it, just jump. So this is probably the laziest program I could think of. I could also... Oh, they need to actually be synchronized with each other for this to work out. So I do need to... what a mechanic. Okay. So... Yeah, because the worker on the right needs to be... They need to wait till they're greeted. Okay, so I do need to figure out which worker is which. So if I have a worker to my right, then... Let's just say this is R. W. The other thing I already lost, like, my nearest and stuff like that. So if to my right is a worker... Then we tell them hi, and then we listen for hi. Otherwise, we will listen for hi, and then tell back, and then we just keep looping through this. So I don't need this comment anymore. This ought to do it. There we go. So they just yabbered at each other, and they have successfully mated. I did not realize that this was going to be a risque stream, but there you go. Excellent work. You may proceed to produce offspring. I wonder if I did that in... I did do that in the optimal size and the optimal speed. So yeah, that is... I thought I could get by cutting corners and not having an if statement there entirely, but I guess I was wrong. There are not a whole lot of yellow levels. Alright, automated pleasantries. Good morning, is what I would say if I were staying in line with you and also executing this assignment. Yes, pleasantries are a thick oil that really lubricate a productive workforce. Please enjoy using your new tell and listen abilities amongst yourself. Cheers, all the best. Ugh, just read your assignment over there. The first worker on the left must tell the second worker in line morning, then that second person must tell the third person morning, and so on down the line until everyone has been politely greeted while politely waiting their turn in order from left to right. So, if to my left is a nothing, then I tell to my right morning. Else, I will listen for morning, and then tell to my right morning. Morning, 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 morning. Wasn't that nice? Of course it's not morning anymore, but good effort, everyone. I did not do the I got the speed right. Optional size, I can actually see how this is probably pretty straightforward, which is actually, how would I do this in 3 commands? I'm not sure. Well, let's just go back for now. And we can probably power through this last one here before we call it. So, Community Training Day. Oh, listen and shredders and shit. Oh, man. Let's all welcome our community leader up on the stage here. What's your name? Yes, everyone say hi. Instructor, will you please show the students how to print a data cube and then shred it? Once the demonstration is complete, this instructor will signal for everyone else to try the same thing. Okay, let's all be good listeners. So, oh man, don't give it to me. I was totally gonna do that. Like, I was gonna make that nice and easy. So, command the instructor to print a cube and shred it. Once their demonstration is complete, they should tell the students who are listening very carefully that they may go ahead and do the same thing. So, if above me is a wall, I take from that. Below, I step diagonal, and then I step diagonal, and then I give 2. Oh, shit. I forgot that you can step diagonal in this game. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, so, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna listen for, what is it? Is it go? Oh, it can be anything. So I'll tell everyone, ugh, and I'll listen for an ugh. And if I do that, we then do the same things that they did. So if above me is a wall, then I do that, tell everyone ugh, and then I just end. And then everyone does the same steps. Couldn't be simpler. Ugh. Everyone has picked up their cubes. They walk down, shred them. They all say ugh. Not too bad. Not too bad. Right on with the speed challenge, because there was no way to do that any faster. I'm actually enjoying these puzzles. I'm going to just knock out this last one, because I'm going to peek at this last one and see if there's time to knock it out. Because these are fun puzzles, actually. Have you ever eaten a carrot, or a banana, or a long sandwich? Yes? Your favorite foods are long foods too? Well, then you already know. The best way to eat long foods is to bite one end, then turn it around and bite the other end, then back around and so on, until you eat the middle last. Well, you're in you're in luck. That's what we need to do to this line of data. First shred the data cube all the way on the left, then shred the data cube all the way on the right, then left, then right, until they're all gone. Yum! So, the way to do that... Okay, I do have everything. Well, yeah, okay, I'm not doing that tonight. But we'll pick this level up next time. Thanks for watching. And for the live audience, unfortunately that also means that it's time for me to go. I'm sorry. But I hope you enjoyed watching this anyway. I definitely enjoyed playing it, so I think I'm definitely going to power through this game and finish it off at some point pretty soon. But hope you enjoyed the vlog if you were around for that. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the game if you're around for that. And I will catch you all tomorrow.